Doctor Who Locations Guide, The Ambassadors of Death. We have been forced to drive to quite a few locations for this one. Your orders are to drive to Southall, Marlow, Wycombe, Aldershot, Kent, Ewshot and Acton. I don't want to do no more.
We are now outside of what is left of BBC Victoria Street, which used to be an old TCC condensers factory. If you come out of North Acton Underground, up the steps of the street, it is directly in front of you. It was knocked down in 2010, but it was rebuilt as a block of flats. In the Ambassadors of Death, this was used for the abandoned warehouse where Carrington was carrying out his secret plans, and eventually UNIT managed to triangulate the point to here. Where I am now used to be White Street. This is at Southall on the straight, just before the roundabout. Used to be here. It's all gone now, but there used to be a street here for the workers of the gasworks. The other side of the roundabout used to be Southall Gas Works. It's all been demolished and it now looks like they're building a housing estate, and there's also green. So this is all what's left of the gasworks. The area of both Southall Gas Works and White Street will soon be a brand new housing estate with many flats and green spaces. This is the part they're finished building, just to give a glimpse of what it will all look like when it's all complete. We are now at Gossmore Lane in Marlow, and this is where Liz jumps out of the car and runs across the field. We are outside numbers 9, and this was where they filmed it. Of course, this first house here has been built since the episode, so it has slightly changed the houses. From where we were at number 9, went over the field, and the houses from number 9 onwards, along here, was where Liz was being chased across the playing field, which is still here. We just walked through a little alleyway which takes us to Hyde Green, and there's like a large triangle grass in the road. It was on the little tiny point at the top here, which was where Liz is being followed by the cars but not being realised yet. She comes from this direction and around this corner. From Gossmore Lane, we drove round over the bridge and ended up the other side of the river. This is a hotel called the Complete Angler, which is just there, and this is the only place where you can actually see the Weir from this angle. Liz Shaw is chased and runs across there, but it wasn't actually Caroline John, it was actually a stuntman who was doing it dressed up as a lady. So this is where it was. This location, the LaFarge Aggegrates at Little Marlow, we parked outside the pub, which is called the Spade Oak, which is down here. And what we did, we walked up the path and we followed a public footpath around to the lakes, And then just before the lakes, you can actually see the quarry pit over there with that amount of dirt. We did ask the place, can we actually take some photos and do it properly, but unfortunately they were really strict and they did not want us anywhere near them. So this is the closest we can get, I'm afraid. Speaking to the security guard at the entrance, we showed them the pictures and they said that everything from the screenshots we showed them doesn't actually exist there anymore, so it's completely different to as it was in the show anyway. Little Marlow sewage treatment is right next door to LaFarge Aggegrates, and it was the back entrance. We parked on Church Road and we walked down the road where you can't drive down, and this was the back entrance. This is now the back entrance to the place, and this is where the astronauts stole the isotopes from the buildings. This is the back entrance. The gates have changed, but it still looks similar. Wickham Air Park was where the astronauts were taken into isolation. The road that you could originally see looks like it's no longer here because it ends in a dead end and goes into a wooded area. And the buildings that were in the background no longer here, but there is one overgrown behind there. This is just at the entrance as you come in. It's very hard to find where exactly they filmed it because it doesn't match anymore where the roads are and the buildings, etc. But by the entrance here, there's a shot of Bessie with some trees in front of it, and I believe that the trees are no longer here, and it's all just overgrown rubble. So I believe this is where this scene was filmed. This is looking back towards the exit of Wickham Airfield, and we believe that Bessie may have driven up here. West side farm shop opposite, outside the air park. We believe this tree might or might not be the exact tree, but it's in the right position and the right shape. Beacon Hill Road, looking up, was where Liz was trying to hitchhike but then got captured again. Either side of the road there's lots of lay-bys, plenty for parking, and there is a MOD fire range area, and it's sometimes open to the public depending on if they're using the fire range or not. Today they're not, so we can have a look. And just before the road was where Liz had escaped from the laboratory and has almost reached the road before she was captured again. Straight down the path into the MOD area when it's open to the public, you'll soon get to a fork, which would be the second right hand turn. And it was on this corner approximately where the original secret base was. Unfortunately, there's nothing left. If I miss, that looks like a brick, but that's all it might be. So this is what we can find here. Other side of the path, you can still see the large pine trees behind which the Brigadier and his men are watching the base for. On the right hand side, approximately, was where the people from the secret base surrendered with the van. On the right hand side of the fork area, looking back towards the main path which we walked up, the unit jeep was seen driving along this path. Unfortunately, over 50 years, all the plants have grown up, so you can't see the path as you did. And there is a dip here, which I think was why there was a large dip, but it wasn't that large on the show. And they went that way. Claycart Bridge, just off the Fleet Road, was where the unit convoyed to the space capsule. There is a little path that you can access to go under the river to get this shot of the Claycart Bridge. Fleet Road, nowhere to park, but this is just outside the bridge. There was a quick shot of the unit convoy going down with the space capsule. Claycart Bottom / Long Valley. This was the large heathland area where the unit found the space capsule. Unfortunately, it's all now private MOD land and you can't really get in. It's not been completely confirmed if it was at Long Valley or Claycart Bottom, so this is somewhere in between. And it's completely overgrown with forest, so it looks nothing like the original anyway, but this is unconfirmed where it was. Engineer and the Eelmore circuit seem to be interlinked together, and it's all military land, so there's no way you can get into any of it really, to be honest, at all. This is the entrance to the what we believe is the Royal Engineer side, because it's much more military based compared to the other side where it was open for a race day. So these are the two circuits that make up one by the looks of it. Driving circuit, and there is a race on because they do lots of car racing. It was here where the Doctor discovers the stolen space capsule and then reclaims it. Unfortunately, there's loads of really fast cars, so we can't get onto the site, but this is where it was.
Right, good.
We're now at Fleetwood LaFarge Cement. It used to be a quarry pit, and now it looks like it's just wasteland with a road running through. Behind me was where they filmed the entrance to the base. We parked up near the diner, the postcode will be at the end of the video, and we walked down the hill, down a pathway, and then we ended up climbed over a road barrier which is all open and access, and got to the tunnel here. And this was where the climatic scene was of where the astronauts entered into the base. Looking back the other way, round this corner, was where the astronauts were coming up towards the base with the sunlight behind them. The scene where the astronaut touches the metal pole which then electrocutes the unit officer is just here by this large concrete wall. There is one final shot of the astronauts entering the base closer up towards the tunnel here. Of course, it is much more overgrown now, so it looks a bit different, and there is actually a path which has been extended as well by the looks of it on the left hand side.